still working the software out, but I completely forgot to put music on for the whole time. So thank you for sitting through the silence, everyone. Cool. All right. So we're looking at our apocalypse world. We're starting to get a bit of a shape for our world that is our world is an apocalypse. Maybe, and we are pretty sure that there's an outside world that isn't. It's an apocalypse because of some kind of war involving giant war machines and defoliants. So now we've got our terrible toxic desert, and we're looking at a savvy head, a gun lugger, and a Maestro D. So we can go through the next set of putting things together. Do you want to go through one character at a time or one section at a time?
I think doing it in parallel is good rather than going one by one.
I like doing it in parallel.
Yeah.
So let's start with actually stats, and like we can, because I like to leave name and give it time to emerge. We have a list. If there's something that's speaking to you, then absolutely go for it. But I often find that I discover which name suits the character best through the choosing of the other choices. So each of the playbooks will have a set of stats to several sets of stats. So the stats in Apocalypse World are cool, hard, hot, sharp, and weird, and also history, but history is like between characters. So you should have a list of 4 lines of options to choose from. Does it pre-populate the options, or do you just have to type them in?
I think we just have to type them in.
Okay, cool. You also have the reference sheet in the handouts. So so that has the reference sheets for as a PDF for all the different things. So if I bring up, it's a big PDF. It takes time. Does it give me the stat line or not? It does not. Okay, so the stat lines and things are going to be in the book, but I've got them here, and I'm assuming that you'll also have the book reference available.
Yeah, I've got the book handy.
So, does anyone have have a really quick answer for what the stats are going to be?
So with the gun lugger, there's a really funny kind of 2-way flip where you can either be cool or weird, and you kind of like trade one for the other in these various stat lines. And I'm going to be weird, so I'm taking the one where I'm cool -1, so I will be terrible at managing bad situations. I'm going to be a huge mess. I have hard +2, hot -2, sharp +1, weird +2. So
gun lugger with bad cool is very funny.
Yeah, I'm going to fly off the handle and cause a bunch of problems on purpose.
Yeah. The thing is that like it also creates the situation where like you're also going to have trouble in fights, right?
in some ways, yes. Also, yeah, I will suffer as much as I dole out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. Cool, awesome. Who else has got a list of stats that are going to go with?
Oh, you're muted, Sidney.
Hardware muted. That'll get you. Thank you. The Savvy Head doesn't have as clear definition in their stats. It's kind of just like, here are 4 different ways that a character could fall out. All of them have weird +2, so I will have that. I'm going to have my +1s in cool and hard, and my -1 is in hot.
All right.
Yeah.
Not real good at talking to people. A little bit better at talking to the machines.
Yeah. I think there's yes.
Not great at getting your way when in those particular situations.
Yeah, I think I'm really interested in like the play to find out of what the hard +1 and hot -1 are and look like, and like why are they?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Cool. Josh, have you got your stat choices? You're muted as well.
Yep, hardware mute. Yep. I heard it happen and did it myself. I think I'm still bouncing between, let's see. Okay, and sharp is sharp-witted, clever, alert, smart, perceptive, educated, skilled, trained. I think okay, so there's one that like I imagine playing somebody who's like looks the part, but will sometimes maybe sometimes buckles. I'm when I'm looking at the different lines, there's one that's it's cool, looks like cool +1, hard -1, hot +2. They're all hot +2.
They're all
they're all
you can't do,
That is your
get hot,
domain of
hot,
expertise.
maestro. Right. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool +1, hard -1, hot +2, weird +1.
Cool.
And the sharp's just level.
A little bit more intuitive than specifically more intuitive than analytical, perhaps.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Then starts moves. So I think let me have a look.
It's telling me to choose 3 gunlugger moves.
That's fucking sick.
That's so many moves, Ash.
That's so many moves.
I was looking at the list being like, I have to pick one of these, which is my one. But no, this game just gives you...
Yeah, no.
bounty
Maestro
of
gets
stuff.
2 moves by default.
Yes.
So the Savvy Head makes it really easy because there's one move that you should take because it's the best move. In fact, it's in conflict for one of the best moves of the games, which is Things Speak. Whenever you handle or examine something, you get to ask the MC a bunch of questions about it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Second only to any opportunity that you can find to use it on people. And then there's the stat replacement moves where you get to roll weird instead of cool when you're doing things under fire, and that's not particularly interesting to me. And deep insights where you get to add 1 to your weird, that's not particularly interesting to me. But I feel like I'm taking responsibility as a player here for the psychic maelstrom stuff. So
Seems like it.
Yeah, I think that my second
we've got a good
move,
spread of like 3 players across psychic, social, and violence.
Yeah.
I'm splashing psychic though, Sidney. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll back you in that space.
Excellent. And I intend to splash violence.
I've got a little weird. I think once I learn my way around the psychic, I'll splash some psychic. Yeah.
It's sprinkling a little weird into your Apocalypse World character is just like it's the perfect garnish. You're never gonna regret it. It's always a good choice. So
I feel that way about I think it's Basil. I don't
Yeah.
Psychic Basil.
So social is the bay leaf of Apocalypse World, which is like it should go in there, but really at some point
you take it out before
you got to get out.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. So I'll take Reality Spraying Edge, which is some component of my workspace is uniquely receptive to the world's psychic maelstrom, which means I get to do weird stuff. Uniquely receptive too, actually. That's a fun word. We'll investigate that together.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting thing again, like for us as players and for our audience who may not be as familiar with it. There's a cool thing that happens in picking moves where sometimes they're about saying that you can do things that like, or you do things better, or you can have access to a thing, and sometimes they're really about saying other people can't. So I think there are some in the Maestro D about like, you know how to get certain things, or you know how to get to certain people. That has an implicit assumption that like, and you are the only person who can do that, which is a really fun thing to get to assert.
Yeah, like you're the best connected person around, or you're the one who can get good food, or all these things that then say, well, clearly then no one else can do it. And that's what makes you special. In the
interests of like building and starting to get a bit more view of our fiction, but also knowing that like y'all's like have the good instinct of finding out in play. Sidney, what would someone like if someone came into your workshop and they saw that thing? What does it look like? What do they go? It's such and such.
So it looks like somewhere between like an old like television antenna or like if you've ever seen a tripod with like multiple arms for filming, where you've got like the light position and the camera and the boom mic and all that sort of stuff on one tripod, which is that like it's thin metal and spindly, and then it goes out in a bunch of different directions, and it connects to, and I think like has points of articulation and rotation, and at the end of each of these arms sit things that like would be sensors on the end of a missile. There's like the black infrared sensor that sits in the front, or that like gray radar nose cone from a radar missile, or some strange sensor from the midsection of a giant war robot, and they all kind of like feel like they're looking for something at any one time. So they're always like swiveling and looking in different directions and searching. And then every now and then there'll be that moment where the stars align and they are all pointing at the same thing. And then they shift out again. And this thing I see is like as quite like a large footprint, quite a couple of meters across, but also looks super unstable.
Cool. And
it's kind of like spindly and rickety.
Yeah.
And what's the thing that someone from our time seeing this would be like, why the fuck is it like that? That obviously is not functional, or that is, there's something about it where it's like that's a nonsense thing to have as a part of it.
Yeah, great question. Like parabolic satellite dish that has been set up in reverse, so it looks more like it's got the large
like
part pointing inward. Yeah, almost like an umbrella.
Love it. Wonderful. Cool. And that's your 2 moves, isn't it?
2 moves, and the other thing I get is the workspace, but we can talk about that as we go.
Yep, you always have the most important move in, or the like the secret answer to how the game works, fundamentally.
Yep.
I want to do a thing, and then the GM says, well, here's what you have to do to get there. That's just the whole game.
Write your own quest move.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Andrew, do you have feelings about 3 moves?
Oh yeah, I've got my choices. I took both of the moves that have the word fuck in the name, and then the one that gives me a med kit. So I've got fuck this shit. I name my escape route. I roll plus hard. On a 10 plus, I'm gone. On a 7 to 9, I stay or go, but it costs me. I leave something behind, etc. And on a miss, I'm caught vulnerable, half in and half out. I'm taking not to be fucked with. In battle, you count as a small gang with harm and armor according to your gear. And then I have prepared for the inevitable. I have a well-stocked and high-quality first aid kit. It counts as an angel kit with a capacity of 2 stock. So
nice. I like that.
Unless anyone else steps up, I will be the medic.
I've
Should it come to
never
that.
seen a gun lugger not to be fucked with.
It's in all caps. It's called not to.
Exactly.
You kind of gotta take it. Like,
exactly.
what are you
100%.
doing? You want to be what? You want to be fucked with? Who would want that?
Maybe not with. Where is my list for Mr. D? You're choosing 2 from your Mr. D moves list, Josh.
Yes, I went with everybody eats, even that guy. I feel like being able to do some good investigation makes sense. So let's see. When you want to know something about someone important, I get to roll. I get to roll plus hot, which of course is my good stat. On hit, I can ask the MC questions. On a 10 plus, I get to ask 3. On 7 to 9, I get to ask 1. And the questions are things like, how are they doing? What's up with them? Who or what do they love best? When should I next expect to see them? How can I get to them? Like, how would they be fucked with? On a miss, I get to ask anyway, but then they hear about it. So I did that one. And then I also got, you call this hot? Which is when you do something under fire, roll plus hot instead of rolling plus cool. Which I have to admit, I shouldn't even say this out loud because I understand that by doing this, I am still creating the situation that I am trying to avoid. But I wanted to take the one, where is it? Meister D. I wanted to take a devil with a blade, where when you use a blade to go aggro, roll plus hot instead of plus hard, because my hard is -1. And I was like, that would be a good way to make up for my garbage stat. But I feel like that inevitably means I will never see a blade over the course of the campaign. And so I was like, maybe I should try something else. And I feel like there's this element of me trying to prepare for the worst, not recognizing that like the worst is going to show up anyway. So
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, like also though, like one of my principles as the GM is to be a fan of the characters. So if you wanted to take that, then I would actually be trying to create situations where a blade comes into your hand and then potentially leaves it again and then potentially comes back. Right? Like that's a more interesting story when you have that move. It's not, and if you wanted to choose that move, that would be saying to me, hey, Ash, this is a thing that I want to have happen in the game. So it's a kind of communication. So like, if that is the thing that you think would be more fun and interesting, then versus is it a thing you just want to take to make up for the dump stat?
I think that instinctively, I feel like if I leaned into what feels most natural to me, I feel like I could invent things that would involve like the blade, but that actually makes me really interested in trying to figure out the you call this hot. What are the ways to make a situation work better because it's under pressure? And I also think there's a way of maybe tying in a little bit of that psychic maelstrom. You're under pressure, weird thing activates. But maybe that's just me living with ADHD. So like I already have this stat IRL. Like I'm like, is there a deadline? Is it tomorrow? Yeah.
I mean, it also gives you the opportunity to, because like rolling with cool is the kind of means that the story would go a kind of normal way, right? Like your coolness is how you get through it. Whereas if you're doing that, you have to explain how you're using your heart, right, to get through, this particular thing. It makes you do some interesting narration.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I think that's
interesting.
fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 100%. Sick. All right. You need to do establishment. Does anyone else have? I think Andrew needs to do guns.
Yep.
Sidney needs to do.
Andrew needs to do guns is the subtitle of this entire process.
I need to do guns.
For some reason, that's a drug name in my head now. And Sidney, do you have to pick?
I have to do
pick things for
workspace. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I'm still making a decision. You're welcome to take
I've
it.
got my
Andrew,
guns
tell me
sorted
about your
out, so
guns.
I can talk
Yeah.
about guns for a minute and vamp so that Sidney has some time. So I have 3 different categories of guns that I get to choose from. I get 1 fuck off big gun, 2 serious guns, and then a backup weapon. And so my big gun that I have chosen is a silenced sniper rifle. It is a 3-harm far high-tech weapon. My serious guns, I chose a shotgun, 3-harm close messy. And then there's an option in that list for AP ammo, which adds the AP quality to all of my guns. So all my guns penetrate armor. I'm imagining that they are fancy or special in some way that allows them to do that, or I have the juice to make them do that. And then my backup weapon is a big ass knife.
Nice.
Actually, you know what? Many knives. Many knives means that it is 2-harm hand infinite. So I just always have a knife available.
Yeah, I was gonna say then I can't take away your knives.
I mean, having the big knife is cool, but
yeah, exactly.
It's fun to also have a million knives.
I like the level of like finesse and expertise that's happening here, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not imagining my character as like a very blunt instrument. I think this is more of a like weight hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
Light someone up across a long distance in the desert field or whatever. Yeah. They're a creep. They hang out in the desert and
how did
shoot things from far away.
Does that express itself through sharp or cool to you?
Yeah, I think that's a matter of like the sharp and the weird angle that I'm going with. Of like, yeah, they're like well trained, a little bit unhinged, very patient, willing to put themselves in uncomfortable or bad situations and just like tough it out to get an advantage rather than, try to be tough and upfront in people's faces.
Nice. I love it. I love that as the counterpoint to the battle babe, right? You're not the friend, the social and dangerous. You are the reclusive dangerous.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Who wants to talk about either their workshop or their establishment?
I have my workshop sorted now, if that helps. So the workspace is where the savvy head can go to do things. As Ash said before, there's the movies when you go into your workspace and dedicate yourself to do a thing, you get like a list of requirements. And it's this beautiful version of, I want to do a thing that I'm not sure how the game lets me do or how the story lets me do. And the MC kind of just gives you some steps that then make a fun game. The things that I have to define about my workspace, I get a choice of 3, and the list is so good and so expansive. And the 3 that I've chosen are a junkyard of raw materials. I think I really like the idea of this is my abundance. This is a thing that we have plenty of, these raw materials. Weird Ass Electronica, which to me speaks to like a lot of that like high tech militarized stuff that like has very specific functions but can be manipulated. And the last one is booby traps. And I see that as this is just a really dangerous place to be, but I know it and I know the things here and like they are good to me. But it's in the sense of like, if you just walked into this place, you could probably cut yourself open on, old sheet metal that's lying around. Like it's not intentionally trapped to keep people out. It's just a dangerous place to be.
Well, and probably like it's hard to get in there quietly also because you knock something off a shelf or bump your
Yeah, definitely.
Or like you manage to not touch anything and then something just starts going beep anyway and you're like cool, awesome, I love it. Brilliant. All right, so this is the bit where Josh gets to be like, we get to do the like really big thing for the Master D. We get to build your establishment. So for chat, the establishment features one main attraction supported by 2 side attractions. So you choose one that is the main one and then 2 side ones. The options are luxury food, easy food, sports, music, games, fights, fashion, art, scene, lots of food, drinks, sex, coffee, spectacle, or drugs. So this is going to be like this is an opportunity to really like paint some into the world for you.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, oh yeah, there's a big, because my first instinct was like, oh, games, of course. I was like, but do we? So what I think I want to try and put together is something that I kind of like the idea of a bar. I think having that sort of just the base establishment with like drinks and it's a good solid base to work from.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do like this idea of art and games being the other two. Like the side attractions be like it's all about creating a context for people to exist in, and maybe it's all a cover. This is all the stuff that's up top, and then in the basement the thing happens. But I feel like this is an interesting. You get an interesting range of people and experiences, and trying to figure out the ways that they all blend together.
So I'm like, there are a bunch of different ways that you could go with. Like art makes a certain makes like feels easy to me. Games, there are a bunch of different ways that can go, and I'm curious what that is looking like to you.
I think this feels analog. I think this feels like this feels more like this feels more Sabak than
I was wondering
gritty Mario Kart, right? Like this feels like this feels like now I said gritty Mario Kart and I'm like, oh wait, no. But yeah, this feels like gambling. This feels like smoke, shadows, meeting spaces, shady deals.
Wonderful, cool. I love that with art. I love someone playing like backgammon with their last fucking like for their last shirt on their back, and then at the same time like you're like trying to have this like collection of finer things as well. And I wonder how much of the art that is in the bar has been won or used to pay debts, which is a really fun idea.
They say art, trading art steadily increases in value, and I can imagine it being a combination of like, yes, it's a display piece, but it's also a brag, right? Like,
right, exactly.
It's like, all right here. You could try. Like, you want to take it? You can try.
The thing is that like all of this art is probably does genuinely increase in value over time in the world it lives, right? But like here, but like if you were to get any of these pieces to the people in the big like glass and green cities, they'd be like, holy shit, this is a lost such and such that we thought was destroyed.
Yep.
But here, sometimes it's a placemat.
I like that.
You know those when you go to like a kitschy cafe and instead of giving you a table number, they give you like, oh, you're the yellow sun table.
Yeah.
That's what I very much see this thing of like, here's your table number, and it's like the Mona Lisa set into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like it.
100%. You get to pick 3 or 4 from the establishment's atmosphere.
Yes. So I went with smoke, acoustics, and intrigue.
Ooh. Oh, I love that.
That's so good.
Wonderful. Yeah. I'm getting a real sense of the place, which is lovely. Definitely like a lot of that. Like definitely some speakeasy kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm.
For the next one, you get to pick some NPCs. Who's your best regular? Who's your worst regular?
Yeah, I would say my best regular of these 5 would be Camo.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamprey can get the fuck out. Yeah.
Wonderful, sick. Why is Camo such a good, like, what is it about Camo that endears them to you and your establishment?
I imagine that the establishment has been here for a while. Again, not the hard holder, so this isn't the this is not the main point in town, but it is a main point. It is a space of gravity. Camo's just been here since before this place mattered. I like to imagine that Camo, like this is the joint that Camo stumbled into and just like kept coming back to. Of all the people who swing in here, who again with the kind of the vibe of this, a lot of people swing in here because they mean business, because they're looking for a thing, because they're looking for someone. Not Camo. Camo is part of the establishment and like knows his way around and is not to be fucked with, but also like is one of the few people that I can count on to just be a person in this space.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then 3 NPCs at least have an interest in your establishment. So this is the thing of there is no status quo, right?
Right.
Who wants to be part of your business? Who wants to be a partner or wants to be part of the business? Who do you already owe for some part of the business? And who just wants this off off the fucking not here?
Definitely. Who wants it gone is Rolf Ball, because I do not want to take Rolf Ball seriously. like Rolf Ball and I are at odds.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you owe for it? Gams.
Mm-hmm.
Gams. Yeah. Bean. Bean wants in on it? No.
Wants in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. What the fuck is Rolf Ball's deal? What is it about your establishment that is a problem for anyone in town?
Me.
Oh, okay. Specifically a personal thing.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Love that. And how much of the place would you have not been able to have if it went for Gams? All of it, or just part of it?
Probably any part of it that matters. I would say
Yep.
like the space itself, the building itself, yeah, I wouldn't say this is I own, like, Gams owns the property. Gams owns the influence. Gams made the connections that made this place relevant. And
Right. Okay. Yeah.
still tied to that system that and it's still essentially tied to the system that could essentially divert relevance from this place, tear some things down slowly from the inside in ways that are hard to notice until it's too late. Gams is a friend until they're not.
Yeah, love it. Cool. You've got your security to choose. You can either choose having a gang as your security, or you can choose two options from a list.
This feels like okay. Would this be? I know that sometimes when you're putting when you're forming, you're also trying to figure out like how does the party know each other? Is this a place to have
I mean, it is assumed that you all are connected in some way.
Is this a space where a gang comes into play that might be a handy?
For a gang, your cast and crew can consist of the other players' characters. You can have a gang and also be friends with Andrew's character.
Oh, okay.
Right, like those you can be friends with the other player characters on top of the things you choose here.
Great. Then I would say, I like the secrecy passwords, codes, and signals. That feels like it aligns really well. Convenient shotgun. Like, not just any shotgun, but a really convenient one. It just happens to be here when I need it.
Which is always my problem with shotguns. They're just a little bit too inconvenient, you know? That's my only problem with them.
Right. I haven't had that experience.
I am really interested in this idea. So I'm interested in secrets and codes being part of your protection. And also this idea of like you seem to have a fairly wide range, like clientele are maybe coming from out of town. And so that's an interesting that's interesting to me. Is it that there is like a top bar and a bottom bar, or is it that the only people coming in from out of town are people who have been kind of let into the secret?
I would say that this would be, I think this falls a little bit more top bar, bottom bar.
Yeah.
There's definitely stuff happening. There's art, there's whatnot. But like when it comes to any of the stuff that that matters, the things that are closer to the to influence, those are the things that are protected by the secrecy, the passwords. So a bit of the speakeasy mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it when you say top bar, bottom bar, am I hearing like a physical geographical split, or is it just like there is socially the top bar? And
good question.
Yeah,
I like it socially.
I do too.
Think, yeah,
big fan.
Yeah,
certain people just get the good liquor, certain people just get the better food or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there could be something happening in the other room over, and you can see it. You just like, you shouldn't be there.
that's
and
not
you know
for
that you shouldn't be there, and you can try to be there. It might be a problem, but if you have that, yeah, I like that idea of the social difference between the two.
Yep. Nice. And then, is that everything we've got for the? Where's it gone? Sorry,
No, I think that's it.
Yes,
we just
All
need
right.
to choose a look for our characters, and then
Look, gear is also, and then we do history. So, what gear do people have? What do they look like? What's their name? And then we can do some history questions.
yeah,
I'm going to start.
I can go first.
I'm going to start with Sidney because
Oh, no.
you keep going first.
Yeah, do it. Throw me into it. That's the better way to do it. Now my gear, I'm pretty sure I just have 6 barter. I don't think I get any other gear. Like I've got my workshop and stuff, but I basically just have a bunch of stuff. I just have any personal piece or 3 of normal gear or weaponry, which I think like maybe let's like, if you're okay with it, Ash, leave those kind of quantum. They don't define anything about me. I think yeah. Am I going on to look, or am I just telling you that I'm?
Yeah, let's do gear, look, and name.
Yeah, cool. So the look is like I have utility wear plus tech, which I think is instead of a tool belt, I'm wearing like an old military kind of chest webbing with like screws in one pocket and a wrench stuck through the elastic in another section. And so it's one of those things that probably cuts the silhouette of like special forces soldier behind enemy lines, but as soon as you can break out any detail, it looks more like your grandfather going down to the shed to cut up some timber. And you know what? I'm gonna lean into that and say like a white beard, probably a older person. I don't think I've played like someone in their 50s or in the autumnal part of life before in Apocalypse. So let's do that.
Then there's a question that I love getting to ask.
Yeah.
Do they remember when it was still the apocalypse?
I knew you were gonna ask it. I think that like
they don't remember before, but they might remember when it was the first Mad Max.
I think I'm down for that. I think I'm down for this being a character that's like been around long enough and has seen it and probably like lived through the tail end of the apocalypse itself.
Yeah, like childhood memories of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there a name jumping out to you?
I think I'm going to go with Lockheed.
My character has heard of this. The legendary Lockheed.
So one of the things, again, for people, I see there's some like people in chat that haven't been familiar. One of the things about Apocalypse World's names is they do have just some like regular names, but they also have names where like they're just kind of weird, like Rolf Ball, that we heard before, is a really good example. And there are also names that are in our world like semiotically attached to a meaning that in the Apocalypse World are divorced from that meaning. And so I Lockheed is something you see written on a bunch of the stuff in this.
Like you would take it to be a warrior's name, and then it's like.
Yeah. And then there's an implicit thing of like, if you find something with Lockheed Martin written on the side of it, you should deliver it to Lockheed because it's theirs.
They're going to know what to do with it.
Or to their rival Martin.
Or to their rival Martin.
Wonderful. Love it. Pronouns?
They, them, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. I'm going to get Josh to do gear and look and name.
Yeah, I am imagining like vintage, looking at this list here, trying to remember trying to remember what main stat is hot. Definitely I would go with the vintage wear. The like the suit jacket, the suit,
Mm,
the definitely like not in prime. It's not in pristine condition. It's a little dusted up. It's but I imagine that still feels in tone somehow.
yep.
Um the um I will call in the two-tone color scheme at all times. It
Yeah.
is a black, it is a
Nice.
yellow. There are versions perhaps, but nothing else.
Yeah.
The I would say a little closer to the dad bod side of things. Um, but under the impression that could maybe throw his weight around a little bit. You'll
All
both
right.
be him, but probably is not. That's not the first impulse. The first impulse is perhaps to charm, and so not necessarily with the intention of looking like going to use a lot of muscle.
Mhm.
I would say, yeah, darker skinned. But maybe I'd say some longer hair, kind of the dreadlocks.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask like darker skinned in a
Yeah, do the
like African or a South Asian.
Mhm.
That was my check
Yeah.
in. Cool.
And I'd say I kind of like scarred hands though.
Ooh, that tells of of an interesting bit of
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, definitely like composed, like feels composed, put together, but with a history.
Yeah, there's an
Um,
edge to it
mhm.
in there. Yeah.
100%. Did a name come to you? Or like one of the ones from the list speak to you?
I kind of like. Saf, like short, like saffron shortened.
Nice.
I like that with the gold, with the yellow.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
Yeah, the branding, it's strong.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's nice. Cool, awesome. All right, Andrew, what you got?
Yeah, so my character is named Wolf, aka Jackal or Dog, or worse words for those if people really don't like me.
Mhm.
My look is I went with transgressing / concealed
Mm.
in scrounged armor. And like I'm thinking like a she they pronoun type of situation, the classic she her or they them if you're mad at me. And
Is that a classic? Is that?
that's a thing on the internet, especially for trans people. They see that
Okay.
happening to them a lot. But anyways, and then a blasted face with cunning eyes and a compact, battered body. So I'm imagining her as being like very covered up for wandering in the wasteland, like and stuff to keep the sun off. But despite that, her skin is still like it's hard to tell what color it was initially, but she just looks burnt. Like she's just kind of is like crispy.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like in high school, I had a shop teacher who his hands where his like fingers were very blocky and squared out because he had been
Yeah.
exposed to too many like machine chemicals and stuff.
My dad's hands are like that. He
Yeah.
can't like, and they're massive because they're just like calloused and chemicals.
Yeah, they like callous and
chemicals.
swell. So
Yeah,
she's got that kind of thing going on.
yeah.
And it makes it so like her silhouette is really hard to identify, or to like, you know, mark her like gender or whatever else at a distance. And she's mostly just like covered up with stuff. And I think she has like a makeshift sort of gas mask that she walks around in most of the time.
Great quote from question from chat there. Is like has she had a lot of exposure to the defoliant?
Yes, that was what I was thinking. It's that she's been out there too much, and despite her best efforts, has been messed up by the chemicals and whatnot out there in the wastes. And yeah, she has like a cobbled together gas mask that's like a scarf wrapped around her head, plus a rebreather, plus some goggles. But it's clearly like none of her stuff is like quite good enough to keep her in good shape. And yeah, that's
nice.
That's Wolf.
Cool. Love it. All right, I'm having a look at our threats then. So one of the things that I love in Apocalypse World and is that that I fall back to even when I'm running like other games, and I'm like, I just need this. Is the idea of essential threats. So for the place that we are, we need a landscape. So I'm looking at landscapes. So, and I want to involve all of you in the, like, this is ostensibly GM work, but I'm more interested in involving y'all in this. So what kind of landscape threat are we looking at, right? Is the place that we're in, like, prison seems like the thing that automatically is true, but I think that's true of like our world, not this place, if that makes sense.
What are some of our options here, Ash?
So they are a prison, a breeding pit. So a prison to deny egress, so a place that is hard to get out of. A breeding pit, that like it is a landscape that bad things come out of. A furnace, so it is a landscape that is consuming things. A mirage, so it is a landscape that is tricking and like ensorceling people into their own demise. A maze, so is a place that is difficult to leave because you just get lost. Or a fortress. There is something here, or this place is a place that you can't get into.
I feel like furnace sounds closest to a lot of what we've described, but just like a caustic rather than a burning kind of place.
I love caustic there. That's excellent. Cool.
That's someone who's written a game with a poetry layer. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Lots of time spent in the thesaurus. Yeah.
No one has a gang. None of you have your. Oh wait, no, you have 5.
Yeah, we have some people established.
You have your 5 regulars. Where's my page for this? Threats. I fully intended to like do all this note taking on Roll20, and then I just started using my notebook by default. All right, so Maestro D has lamprey, bar, camo. Oh yeah, lamprey is the one that can fuck off. Camo plus. Toyota and Let's. And then we also need Bean, Rothball, and Gams.
Sorry, Josh. In my notes, I've missed Saf's pronouns. Can you help me out with that one, please?
He, him, please.
Thank you.
Thanks for asking.
All right. So for each of those NPCs, they should be brutes, grotesques, or wannabe warlords.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Was it?
I mean, like,
It's being the one's in, wasn't it?
There's a real open question to hand, which is like, if none of us are the hard holder, if none of us are in a position of leadership, does this furnace have leadership? Does this furnace have a warlord, or are we living without one at the moment?
Yeah, I'm interested in that also. I think, who was it that it was Bean that wants in on the bar, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep, cool, awesome. So Bean can be a wannabe warlord. Because it's a thing that they don't control yet.
Yep.
Rolfball was the one who wants it gone.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's probably a brute. Rolfball is usually a brute or a wannabe warlord. I think Gams is a grotesque, which is, fun. I think that the influence that they spread is weird. Like,
this is not not a positive thing. Yeah,
no, exactly, right? Like it's absolutely a 100%. Lamprey is a brute, but I think Camo is a wannabe warlord as well.
You never want to have that. Multiple wannabe warlords. That's
yeah. Like, this is the thing that I'm thinking about with this situation. Like, they're both heavily involved with, like, it's the best regular and the person and Bean who's like trying to get influence over it. So Toyota is a brute. Litz, I think Bar is a brute, and Litz can be a grotesque. I've got too many. I'm misreading this. Cool. We don't need. The rest of them can be brutes. So Camo can be a brute as well. I like to follow this by the letter. So we've got a wannabe warlord and a grotesque, and then the rest are brutes. Nice, wonderful. For any in any local populations, create an affliction. The affliction, I think, is delusion, which is the promise of escape. Wonderful. And then, did anyone want a vehicle or a prosthetic?
I had a thought.
Yeah.
Which is that maybe Wolf needs a voice box or some kind of synthesizer to speak, because her airway is just like totally jacked up from being out in the wasteland too much.
100%. That's awesome.
I'm just trying to make sure that I have things that Sid's character can, fix for me as well.
Nice.
I appreciate.
I picked the high-tech big weapon, and I'm going to try to get some tech in my meat stuff as well.
Where's my list for creating this for a vehicle? Let me bring up Uh,
Yeah, it says that if I want that, I have to get with the MC, and then I
Oh,
don't.
yeah. Should we stay? Or,
Yeah, I mean,
where is my... Character moves, vehicles, and prosthetics. All right. Choose body part. Voice
larynx.
Larynx. Cool. Awesome. Strengths. Choose 1 or 2. Fine-tuned, responsive, comfortable, formidable, easily maintained, interchangeable components, integrated with the meat, strong, or untiring.
Well, it's got to be integrated with the meat.
Uh-huh.
And then there was one that was like imposing or scary or something in that list. Formidable, maybe.
Yeah. Formidable's the closest on that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that one then.
Yep.
Yeah, and like maybe also that means that it can be like super loud if it needs to. Be. Like she can really crank it up.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I like that. Looks, hand-built. Choose 1 or 2. Hand-built, mechanical, smooth, utilitarian, grotesque, ornate, straps and buckles, showy, scars, startling, fragile, or organic.
I mean, it's got to be grotesque and utilitarian, I think.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm at the point now where I've got enough momentum in one direction. I'm just going to keep piling on, I think. So we'll just lean all the way in.
And then weaknesses: slow, heavy, itchy or hot, complicated hardness, has a complicated harness, needs constant tinkering, it slips, it locks up, it's insensitive, it requires fuel, it's loud, or it whispers to the world psychic maelstrom.
You don't need to ask. You don't need to.
I know.
It's the last one, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's that last one.
That's fucking sick. Cool. All right. Did anyone else want a prosthetic or a vehicle?
No. I have the opportunity to have like, you know, cars and trucks and vans and stuff, and I chose not to, and I think I stand by that.
Yep, that makes sense to me. Cool. And then, what kind of threat is the world's psychic maelstrom? Is it an affliction, a landscape? It's an interesting question. A terrain? A vehicle?
I was going to say there's something about the psychic maelstrom like having presence or having a strict geography that is unusual to me. Normally, you know, when I've played Apocalypse World, the psychic maelstrom is this kind of ever present, ever available thing. I don't know, Andrew, I also passed you as another weird character. Like, I kind of dig the idea that like it is a thing.
Yeah, I like the idea of it being a bit more localized or grounded. Like,
yeah,
I'm pulling in some ideas from Dream Askew, which is a game that is like very directly in response to this one, where there can be ideas around like framing the psychic maelstrom as like a part of the internet or something, right? Of being some like leftover thing that is in some way material as well, or has material components at the very least, right? And is like a blending of those, which I think would be fun. The bit about it being a part of the internet, not literal. Don't take it exactly. not that, but this idea that it is, that there are like, you know, like a specific place that acts as a beacon for it, or where it is, you know, stronger, or the barriers between it and the world break down a bit. Like we already have Lockheed's antenna thing as one example of that, but maybe that there are some that are like naturally occurring and more volatile that exist out in the world.
What about if it's a terrain and it is a shifting ground that it might be present more in a place for some time?
Yeah, but it's not perfectly consistent.
And then, that it might like ebb and flow like a tide or move like weather.
Yeah, I think like a tidal quality is fun, or like a seasonal quality maybe is a way to think about it. Since I'm trying to think too about like, you know, as you go through a year in this place, what are the seasons like in a blasted wasteland that's full of chemicals and old, you know, war machines and unexploded munitions and all this kind of stuff. What is winter like? What is summer like? If there is even such a thing, right?
The touchstone I want to offer is the feeling that people get around rain and storms, which is like we have the ability to feel barometric pressure, but not in like any way that's definable for us. And so like in the same way, you kind of walk past a place and you're like, it's almost like you can smell that the psychic was here and has like moved on.
That's fun. That's a really fun way to characterize it.
Today's fun fact: humans are more sensitive to petrichor than sharks are to blood in water. We can smell petrichor from further away than sharks can smell blood.
That's
cool.
Yeah, humans are extremely tuned to be able to find the place where there will be food over the horizon.
Wow.
Right, that makes sense in that sense. Yeah.
Cool as hell. All right, I just want to refamiliarize myself with.
Are those my sirens or someone else's?
Oh, sorry.
Who are they coming for?
I have no idea how sensitive everything is, but just
I wasn't
Toronto,
troubled by it.
land
It
of
was
the
just
siren.
funny.
They're on their way.
Yeah.
I live near a hospital, so half the time it's me.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. Right. That thing where you remember the game as you're playing it.
Fair.
All right. So, I'm curious about Saf. No, not Saf. Wolf. What's we find you probably in like
hold on
a place where you
we haven't done Hex yet.
Hex. We haven't done history. Thank you.
Hex.
Cool. Who wants to do their history? Hex is history. Is from the from like medical forms. So this is how well you all know each other, and this is going to be really important for tying everyone together. I
have been like eager to ask mine for a long time because it's one of those things where. So the reason I'm eager is that there's a very like clear way to play this, and there's also the very fun way to play it. But both are fun. So I have two questions. One is which of you is the most? I came off it. Which of you is the most weird? And the not the most weird. Let me find the text because it matters. Savvy head. One of them is which of you is the most strange, and the other is which of you is the biggest potential problem. And I would love, this isn't explicit in text, I would love like one to go to each of you. But the fun question to this is, Wolf can absolutely be either, given that you play in the weird space as well and have guns and stuff. But Saf also could be either, given that you're the most strange because you're the less weird one, so you're more different to me. or you're a bigger potential problem because you are like more integrated in with the resource economy of this community. So who would like to be the most strange, and who would like to be my biggest potential problem?
Do you have one that sticks out to you, Andrew?
It's a very difficult choice that has been put in front of me. I'm struggling. So if you're leaning one way or another, Josh, I would say go with that, and I'm happy to play into either.
My first instinct is to subvert. So like my first instinct is to say like, oh, I think I would be the potential biggest problem because of the networking thing. But I think that it potentially could be more interesting if I'm the strange one. For maybe it's a certain amount of like, I don't know, something about how the vibes are processed differently. And perhaps it gives you a little bit more space to be like, do you feel like there's something that would feel good to be in that potential biggest problem space for your character?
Did you say is there something that would feel? Sorry, I just went and shut my my door as well.
Yeah,
no.
Problem.
Is there? Did you say is there something?
I was asking, like, so it was like, so that's either the which one is the weird one and which one is the potential biggest problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, do you feel like there's something that would be interesting to explore in being that biggest problem?
Yeah, I have a thought for that for sure. Yeah, so let's go with that split, because I agree with you that it's interesting to wonder about what makes Saf strange to someone, because he seems so like he's part of the establishment of this place, right? Like he's really a foundation.
There's a groundedness to it, yeah.
Yeah, but then but there is something off still, despite that. I think is very good and compelling.
Easy, cool.
And so yes, Wolf is the biggest problem.
Yeah,
Wolf brings the outside inside in a way that is not good for anyone. You know, like.
And also, I want to say that Wolf is the biggest problem because her problems tend to be physical, right? Like Wolf goes out and gets hurt and gets injured,
she needs maintenance,
and like people are complex and weird, but machines are very simple, and so like to bring back all these meat problems that you have with your meat body is like a frustrating continuing like thorn in my side. So just for us all, Wolf I take +2 with, because I am focusing on that problem, and Saf is the most strange. I take +1 with you.
Cool.
So who goes next?
Yep, that's the question.
Can I rewind just for a second for a thing that I think could be interesting is like, I keep thinking about the Millennium Eye, and like the thing that what's his name Pegasus has in Yu-Gi-Oh! When we were talking about prosthetics earlier, and so I was like, what if I had a prosthetic eye? And what created some of that weird is that like some of how we were just talking about like the petrichor and being able to like sense that space where psychic is, like maybe the eye allows you to see a certain amount of it. And so tell me if this is world break type stuff, but like if it's like being able to, it's like when people talk about how they like have biohacking and they have like magnets in their fingers so they can like feel magnet, you know, they can like feel things in ways that other folks usually can't, like maybe having an eye that of course also whispers to like
Wolf's voice box whispers to the psychic maelstrom. It doesn't hear from it. Like,
and so this idea of this eye doing the opposite, right? Of like permitting some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're not overlapping.
So if the strengths are fine-tuned, responsive, comfortable, formidable, easily maintained, interchangeable components, integrated with the meat, strong and untiring. It sounds like you're talking about something that is fine-tuned or responsive.
I'd say fine-tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, I like. It's interesting because I think it probably allows you to see something about the maelstrom, but also not, but certainly only some.
Certainly.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting idea that like, because opening your brain still exists as a move, right? So like there is other kind of information that other people are going to get out of it in different ways. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
I want to
So
pitch a thing that I'm hearing that is like I'm not attached to, right? I will hold this loosely. I'm hearing Wolf's voice box speaks to the psychic maelstrom. The Saf's eye is receptive to it. I think the uniquely augureous thing about my psychic antenna is that it can transmit and receive. And I want to loosely pitch that in this world you tend to either be receptive to it or you tend to be able to give it something. And this weird antenna being made of so many different things is able to like perform both roles.
I like that. I like the so I think let's be specific. You can either send or receive with intention, right?
Yes, thank you.
Without intention, who knows what may happen?
Yeah, give me your best go. It'll be fine.
No, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about looks for your eye, Saf?
Yeah, I would say I actually I am gonna lean into the mechanical, the freaking Pegasus eye. Yeah, I think that mechanical and ornate. I think it kind of fits the style of the rest of the dress.
Yeah.
I'd say its weakness would be I mean it sounds like needs constant tinkering.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's finely tuned, that makes sense, right? As a follow-up.
Yep, love it. Great. Do you want to do your history questions then?
Yeah. Are they on? Are the history questions for the class? Or they?
Yes, they are. So your two history questions. You may ask either or both of these questions. Which of you do I find most attractive, and or which one of you is my favorite?
Yeah, please fight it out. Yeah.
Being able to assert who your favorite is a degree of power I was not ready for when I woke up this morning.
Both of these give a lot of power to whoever like accepts them.
Let's see. I think I feel like my favorite is probably I think I'm imagining if my eye needs fine-tuning or needs repair, the ability to repair the eye probably would make for favorite space.
Yeah, please.
So Lockheed's an easy fix. That's fun then, that you're attracted to Wolf.
Yeah, right.
Reason, right. Like that's a good one.
I wonder how much it's the inscrutability that is like there's an inscrutability to Wolf, and there's a sort of power to them they're both very interesting. Cool. So your favorite, you write hex +3.
Okay.
And for the one you find most attractive, you write hex +2. And then what are your questions, Wolf?
So I have a total of 3.
Mhm.
And one of them is, which one of you is the prettiest and or smartest, which is an impossible dilemma between the super hot bartender and the brilliant scientist. So I'm just going to leave that one out. We can't answer that. And so instead, I'm going to ask, which one of you once left me bleeding and did nothing for me?
Oh, I love that.
It's always a good one. Always fantastic.
Who has that in them? You know?
Yeah, I think that
doesn't mean that it hasn't been made up for.
Sorry, what was that, Ash?
It doesn't mean that you haven't that's the thing that happened. It doesn't mean that other things haven't happened since.
Oh yeah. And I almost want to like take a bit of the intention out of it, right? Which is like, I would love this to be an expression of Lockheed's incompetence or like lack of skill set, and like, who left you bleeding? Like, yeah, I took the metal out of you, I took the shrapnel out of you, but that was all I could do. Like, what else do you expect me to do? Weld up your skin or something like that? Like, maybe I could stitch you, but like, it's not surgery. It's maintenance.
I love the idea of like of that being a reason. There's a reason that Wolf always carries a med pack now.
Oh
yeah, once burned, never again.
Yeah,
right. Like, I thought that my friend would look after me. That's not a thing that they can do. I will have to. Yeah.
I guess they're not a friend after all. So that gives me a -2 with you. And the other question I have is, which one of you has fought shoulder to shoulder with me?
Okay, wait. Would they cancel? Because there's a part of me that's like, well, it would make sense that you fought shoulder to shoulder with also the bleeding out.
Lockheed as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and it could be that the answer to both of those is Lockheed, and that what that would tell us then, my read would be that like Saf and Wolf are not really acquainted, and so when we meet or when we interact, that'll be like us meeting each other, and we'll kind of kick it off from there.
Yeah.
So there's
especially given that the relationship established by Saf's question is only that Saf finds Wolf attractive.
Yeah. So there's room for us to be at a remove or kind of be strangers to one another in that way.
Okay.
If you want to go with that, which I think is a fun way to play it.
I would be I'd be down to try it. Yeah.
All right. So then it falls to Sidney to say, do you think that Lockheed has fought shoulder to shoulder with Wolf?
I also am great with the idea of having done so. That really was just more of a question to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, totally up to you, Josh, by all means, but
I appreciate the potato that you have thrown me, and I am going to redistribute that hot potato back to you, Andrew, with this question. I settled that the weapon in my personal gear is going to be the concealed holdout pistol, the really sort of short range self-defense-y kind of weapon. I will pitch to you that Lockheed has been with you in a fight and has been like in the shoulder to shoulder. The question that I ask you is there a degree of like of impact I would have had to have had for you to count me as having fought shoulder to shoulder with you?
Yeah, is there like a minimum threshold?
Or was I an escort quest for you, right? Like that's the
Did you pull your gun?
Yeah.
Did you fire it?
Sure. Yeah. I'm not sure I hit anything.
That's good enough. That'll do.
Fired it. Cool.
All right. So hilariously, that puts me at hex 0 with both of you.
Love that.
Unless Well, I guess, okay, so since we have landed in this position, I will now ask my third question, which is, which one of you is the prettiest and or smartest? Fight amongst yourselves, figure it out.
I think it's got to be you.
I might take that one, yeah.
Great. So then I get Hex +3 with you. So we have both noticed each other then.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say there's Mutual Appreciation Society.
I think actually, in fact, Wolf, you're like, I think you're new you haven't been to this town before, but you know that this is where.
Well, so I have all this history with Lockheed, so I feel like I must have been here.
Lockheed. Before. So you know that this is where Lockheed ended up.
Mm.
And but our history is from a different place.
Our history is from somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And someone has given you the intel that this is where you fucking find them. Because the person who was helping you with the person who was helping you with like maintaining your voice box is now a crumpled heap at the bottom of a fucking ravine, being eaten by like very large lizards.
Yeah, it's too bad that happened to them.
Lizards.
You
didn't put them there, did you?
I don't know.
Who can say?
People who ask questions like that usually find themselves at the business end of lizards in a ravine.
Look, were they full of bullet holes? If not, it wasn't me. You know?
I mean, would they be full of bullet holes or have a single bullet hole? Who knows?
Depends how mad I am. But yes, that's great. I like that as a backstory that I'm chasing down Lockheed to be like, hey, I need you to fix my crap again.
Yeah, Carmen's fucking dead. She's gone. And you're annoyed because she fucking owed you. Like, you could have held on to that favor forever. But
that is disappointing.
No, it's like, when someone owes you a life debt, you don't like, if someone else takes the life, it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, no, Carmen is long gone. And you're like, who else? And eventually you manage to get a bit of intel that the place you were looking for was a weird little settlement, like nestled into a like semi at the bottom of a valley for like a low range of cliffs, but you know it because it's still like it's got a tall and standing water tower. And so it's like you were told, okay, cool, go in this direction, you'll see a water tower. That's the place that Lockheed is in. And so like you rock up in this like little shanty town, and this is all the information you've got. As soon as you're there, I think there are a couple of like large, like clearly there's some kind of building where some kind of work is happening inside. You can hear the sounds of industry, in a quite like, it definitely is like multiple people are all working on a thing together there.
Yep.
That is that's a very. It used to be a large industrial building and has been put back together, whereas a lot of these places have been assembled since, or been assembled out of rubble. That is one of the buildings that mostly managed to survive whatever happened here.
Patched up. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
A couple of the buildings are just made out of like sections of shell of giant robot, where like all of the stuff inside has been gone, and so they've either moved the shell or just climbed in at where it is and started setting up shop. The most actually, Saf from the outside. What does the bar look like? Is there a sign? What's it called?
I think I think from the outside it looks, I don't know, I like the idea of it being relatively like what's the word? Not from the outside it's not particularly flashy. I think from the outside it fits in well. It's a hidden in plain sight type deal. I like the idea of the name. Names are hard.
They really are.
You didn't have to have one right now. That's okay.
Yeah, give me. I need some time for that one
Yep.
for sure. But yeah,
How's it decorated from the outside? Is it has it got like lights or a sign or is it like when it's hiding in plain sight? It could be an abode?
I would say it is a. No, I would say it's like it looks. It's a bar, right? Like it is. It very much is like we're operating as a bar, so it's not a. It's not super hidden, but it's like it's got a hanging sign. I think it's got a prominent hanging sign. I think it's got some windows up front that allow you to see sort of into the front section. Feels perhaps a little bit restaurant-y in that regard. Anything that actually happens with any sort of weight or whatever is kind of in the further back section. So I like to imagine that there's like, you walk in and it's kind of like, if you walk in, you're like, here's the front bar and like the restaurant area and people are like sitting down and eating or whatever. Like it's got a little bit of that community establishment feel to it.
I'm gonna call you on a thing here. You don't sell food.
I didn't pick food?
No.
I thought I picked food. I didn't. You're right. I picked drinks and art. And what was the other one?
Drinks and art and gambling.
Okay. Yep.
You can
Okay.
change it if you want. That's absolutely fine.
Nope. I think that I think we are. Oh.
It's tough.
No, I
Big fan.
think that's right. I don't think it's gambling. I think it's food. I think that the idea of having a space that it's like, yeah, this is meant to be. This is a community staple space. Also, the shit's going on here, but like this is
Well, and that's perfect because it gives cover for anyone who goes there to like do business that people shouldn't know about or whatever. It's not suspicious because it's like, oh yeah, I was grabbing lunch.
Absolutely. Yep. There's I think it's not luxury food. I think it was cheap food or like
luxury,
lots of
easy
food.
or lots.
Yeah. It's easy food.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
It's easy food.
Cool. So like from the outside there's an eatery, and then up up the hill are this forest of the same like blackened eucalypts with their like I think it's like a lot of them are blackened from the defoliant. And then amongst them are the big fat white ghost gums that never like they were killed, but like they didn't blacken in that same way. And then nestled in amongst, you can see that there's a compound of some kind, like up the hill.
Right. Okay.
That you can see up there, but the like a few houses and the bar are directly like downhill from that. And as you're coming in, I think you like see a couple of people like rowdily being like, okay, cool, like heading into the bar, from that like workplace.
Cool. That makes sense. Yeah. And yeah, the site of industry, this is like hammers and wrenches kind of vibe, right?
Sounds like.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
There were definitely
Um,
some larger machine as well. But yeah.
Cool. And so, yeah, she like, there's a couple of like heavy steps with her big booted feet. And she surveys this whole area, kind of looks around, and then she like, wriggles her mask off of her face and like smells the air. And there's maybe like a low hiss coming out of her voice box because it's kind of like slightly on the fritz.
Well,
But
I'm so curious. Like, if you're close enough to the food place, what kinds of food smells?
mhm.
Is it spicy? Is it?
Yeah,
is it
what's cooking,
rich?
Josh?
Oh, it's from me. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like it's spicy. It's got like it's vibrant. It doesn't necessarily I like to imagine that like no, I gotta just say, yeah, in a space where everything feels kind of like drab, a little bit more, kind of dust blown or whatever. Like it's a scent that's exciting. It's spicy. It's interesting, a little intense, maybe even. If you're like, I don't, am I gonna be able to handle that one? But it's warm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like that contrast of like everything out in the desert or whatever is like all kind of the same color of just that like blasted dust, and then you come to someplace and there's something bright and different, right?
Chat just pointed out that of course it's spices. Your name's Saffron.
That's smart. Yep.
Wonderful.
Love it when it comes together.
Well, with that on offer, I don't think she can resist stepping in, but she's here looking for Lockheed, and so I think there's a moment before she goes in, and I'm gonna open my brain to the psychic maelstrom.
Sick.
With thoughts of Lockheed.
What does that look like? Like from like what's from the outside? Is it just like a stare into the middle distance, or is it a like?
Well, I think the sniffing the air was part of it.
Sniffing the air? Yeah, cool. I love it. Yep.
And there's also like a muttering to herself.
Yep.
Which is like just kind of subvocal, but
let's get
again,
weird.
because her thing's on the fritz, there's like a little bit of it bubbling up into the audible range. And yeah, gonna open my brain with thoughts of Lockheed.
Let me bring up.
Right. No help or interference.
Oh, wait, is this our first roll?
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Oh.
And I get an 8.
My font, my system theme makes it so hard to read. All right, partial success. Let's bring up our sheet. Please. Thank you. Basic moves.
Yeah, and I think a lot of her muttering in this moment is just Lockheed's name. But like
okay. Yep.
Like you're at the grocery store looking for a Lockheed. She's like Lockheed.
So basic moves. Where is my? Why does this handout not want to? There we go. Harm healing. Is this not?
So I've got it in front of me if you want to hear the.
Sure. I'm confused why I can't find it in my.
Yeah, it should be in that list there. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on that page.
Oh, it's on the right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
I was. Right. Yep. Because I was expecting. I was remembering something else with a pick list that I was looking for. But yeah.
But yeah, this one's very vague.
All right. So you're looking for. Okay. Yeah. I think if you're muttering the name and sniffing the air, Lockheed, what does cowardice smell like on you?
What does cowardice smell like on you? There are so many words capitalized in that sentence. What does cowardice smell like on you? I think it smells floral.
Cool.
Yeah. In the way that like florality, the nature of flowers has disappeared from our world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the mixture of floral scent that you remember, and you're like, that is a thing, is like mixing with the spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she kind of shoulders her way through the door into the bar.
Cool. Awesome. With Bar standing very nearly 7 feet tall, directly over Lockheed, when you get in the door, with like Camo and Toyota taking reference positions, right? Like, so that there is not a way out here. What do you owe Bar that you have not fulfilled, Sidney?
What do I have that I've not fulfilled? There's got to be something that like I have been paid to fix that I haven't been able to.
I think
yet,
you've been
right?
paid for an ongoing thing.
Yeah, and it's complex, and this would be like a high tech thing, and it'd be like.
Oh, dude, does Bar have a prosthetic as well? Is this a prosthetic thing as well?
Yeah, I want to go for like something like a cochlear implant, like something that is
right. So immediately
really
we
complex
get
technology.
the thing of like Bar raising a fist and Camo like signing and being like, just chill. But like there's this like very tense situation between the two, and like Bar is signing a thing of like, it's very, very, very loud. So this is the situation that so the other two enter into this situation because of the sudden upstart. So like, Saf, you've also been alerted to it as a new customer comes in the door, obviously sent by Gams. What do you do?
Me?
I don't. Anyone?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. So we're still waiting for I don't understand how many times we have to have this conversation. If it doesn't get fixed, please explain why do we have to keep having this conversation?
Sorry, that's directed at.
This is
at,
I was
okay.
I was gonna say, let me keep track of our names. Yes.
Yeah. And Lockheed says like because I'm working on it, these things are like I think like Lockheed recognizes that they're at the end of the world in a way that like other people don't from not having lived before, and it's like we're operating on scrap in the middle of a hellish desert, and you're upset that I'm not like meeting your timelines. These things are going to take time. It will be done when it's done.
Lockheed, I would give you all the time in the world if it were up to me. But I mean, you see around us, this is about far more than me. I have people who need things from me Otherwise, why would I ask you? I could go sit down and just have something to eat. But in order for this to continue running well, I need to make things happen, and I've brought you in, and I'm paying you because I believe in your ability to make things happen.
I think Bar actually like shoves Saf and is like, what is saying? Like everyone's having this conversation that Bar is not a part of about Bar. Like Bar is your
Yeah.
like,
I think Lockheed like is signing like key nouns, like isn't fluent,
okay,
but
yeah.
has spent enough time talking to Bar that like we've built like this language around like, so he's signing like time and like very hard, and giving those like one of the things about sign languages is they're full of like these non-manual expressions, these like bodily enactions, and Lockheed's giving that real like the cheeks puffed out, like frustrated, like we need to, you know.
And like Bar turns back to you, Saf, and is like this is a nearly 7 foot tall, like very strong and muscular person who you're like, they're very much trying not to cry.
Okay. Poor friend. I think
Apocalypse Club.
Yes. Okay. I think I take a step back and I'm like, okay, I help me better understand then. I've obviously we've known each other for quite some time, and I know that you're capable of a lot. What needs to shift here? How can I help? Maybe that is a better way to think about this. Is there something that you need other than just time, or is it simply time?
Yeah. Hey Ash. Soft flashback here. When you go into your workspace and dedicate yourself to making a thing or getting to the bottom of some shit, decide what. Tell the MC.
Absolutely, 100%.
Hey, Ash, can I fix this thing? Especially in a way that like I wanna fix it. I wanna not have to keep going through this. This feels
not
like
just a
we've gone through
temporary
a bunch
fix.
of times. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Let me grab the reference list.
Yeah. So this is the workspace move when I get stuck in a position and I want to figure something out. I just ask Ash, and Ash is like, "Yeah, absolutely, you can do it."
This is what I was trying to push you into. I should have had the thing open. Is there not?
It's under workspace itself on the
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's
so great. So like I have previously said, it'll take days, weeks, hours, months of work to get it to work, so that you will never have to fix it again. Right. That's what I've previously said.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you've got options, right?
Mm-hmm.
The options I'm presenting to you with a or rather than an and are days, weeks, months, etc., or some kind of you're missing a computer chip piece, right? You're missing a I think you probably know that it's a DAC, it's a digital analog converter, right? It's something to switch between the signals.
Mm-hmm.
But like, where the fuck are you going to get one of those?
Yep.
Or you can do a shit job. You could just turn it off.
Yep.
If the problem is that it's just making a loud tone.
Someone is constantly yelling in, screaming in Bar's ear currently.
Yeah, gosh, miserable.
Yeah. All right.
But also, like, Bar is supposed to be like part of the security here. If they can't hear things,
Yeah. And also, what a horrible existence to leave someone in if you have the capacity to fix it. So I
think
think
you thought you were about to fix it for weeks.
Yeah. Because I'm sure I have something like that around here. So like I don't see Lockheed as a very like organized person, and especially when it comes to like really specific chips. Finding that in this could be as much an endeavor as like going out and getting one. All right. Hey, here. You know what? Let's do another move on this. I'm in a position where like I need to make a decision which way I go on this, and I think this feels like a charged interaction. I would love to read Bar. I would love to read.
Yeah, 100%.
So
let's get some dice.
Dice. I do that with sharp. I roll here. I have nothing forward. So I missed hard.
Okay, cool.
That's probably missed. So Onimus, ask one anyway. I have this list of questions here. Is your character telling the truth? What's the character really feeling? So my question is, given those options, take a bunch of time to do something, or like find a specific component, or reduce the functionality. What does Bar wish I'd do?
Right now?
Yeah.
I think the problem you have is that you can't that like there is one very loud signal coming from Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think that because of that you miss something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Like right now it's make the noise stop. It's gotten like over the 3 weeks that you've been working on it, it's gone from like a dull like background tinnitus to like a screaming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they are not full. Like they're about to like lay you out a second ago.
Yep.
Like you had like just been minding your own business, and then suddenly were.
Yeah. All right. I mean, in the classic apocalypse world sense, I solved my immediate problem, not worrying about the consequences for the future. Like hands raised in a universal sign of surrender. Lockheed says, fine. Like you want to go through this again in like 3 weeks? Fine. All right. It's like holds out their hand. It's like, oh, like I'll fix this now. But and partially to Bar, partially to Saf. Like, I promise you will be back here again.
At this point, it's just got to get done. This is about getting it done right now. I can't do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, right. Muttering something about job security. Yeah. I don't think I want to zoom in on it too much. I do at one point want to like get really into like what Lockheed looks like working on something, but I think at this point, like it's just like
elide it for the moment.
Yeah, we allied over it. But it's quick and it's fast, and it's fast in the way that like Lockheed knew what they were doing and could have done this before, but had chosen not to.
Just a heads up, you working on this is also a charge situation.
Oh, rad. I love that.
And I'm specifically addressing that to the people who might be watching.
Yep. Yeah, and I tinker with this thing, hand it back, and
I mean, you can't tinker with it and but you have to be like on their head, right? Like you have to this is very intimate and weird and slightly violent. Like
okay.
Yeah, it's not like a
in my mind,
detachable kind.
I was
It's,
seeing detachable. Yeah, okay. I
yeah,
like this.
no,
I like
this
this
is
better.
not
I like
this
this
is
stronger.
not nice modern our world Cochlear.
Yeah, right. Is this just like it's your bar staff, but is this just like we lay out on a table nearby, or like the bar sits in a chair and I stand on a stool behind because I'm still too short with bar seated, or what's the?
Yeah, I'd say maybe this looks like, yeah, with the height here, this would be like a barber shop chair, like where it's like you're like they're seated, Boz seated, and you would have to like stand up on you're standing up on another stool to be able to like maybe sit on the bar and be able to like get access to what you need to get access to. And so it's probably like Boz probably like hunkered over as you're, messing around with whatever the thing is. Like I can't imagine that this is comfortable or easy. But it's probably not even the right place to do it. It's just that it's like if you want it done now, that does make sense. Okay, I hear it.
100%.
Yep. Well, cool. In which case, I might, if you're cool, like I'm happy for you to control Spotlight here at Ash at all, but I think this is a good chance to have a look at some things speak as well. If you want to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely a thing you can do.
Cool. So this is one of the moves that I picked. We will talk at some point about using it on people, but whenever you handle or examine something interesting, and I think this has become interesting, roll plus weird. On a hit, you can ask questions. Fingers crossed they're not threes this time, because weird misses feel worse.
Partial success?
Yeah. Partial success. Okay, 7 to 9 is the way this game lives. I'm cool with that. On a 7 to 9, ask one question. Who handled this last? Who made this? What strong emotions been? What words have been said most recently? What has been done most recently? To what's wrong with this and how might I fix it? I feel like we already have what's wrong with this and how might I fix it.
Mm-hmm. DAC is picking up all signals, not just like
yeah. What has been done most recently to this or with this is interesting. What words have been said most recently? What strong emotions? I kind of like what words have been said most recently near this.
Oh, I love that. Because Bar couldn't hear them, but you can pick it up.
Yeah. Like as I bridge some of the connections, right? There's like that. I get some of whatever it is holding in terms of the words that have been said.
A conversation between Camo and Toyota a conversation between Camo and Litz about Toyota and the fact that someone that Toyota has been spending a bunch of time with, don't let Saf know because he will be upset.
Nice.
That it is it's very much like very euphemistic about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's definitely it's a. I think the word. I think the specific phrase you hear is not a turncoat.
You know how you normally describe people as not turncoats?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, rad. Well, thank you for that. With that unopened question, I pass my turn.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to push this further, or do we want to wrap the scene? I mean, I was wondering if what was Wolf's take on this?
Yeah. While this is happening, I think Wolf just like sat at the bar and was waiting for service and did not get any, and just got like increasingly irate. And at a certain point,
So good.
if we want to cut the scene here, like she gave up and walked out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cut the scene without having the connection made. Like,
well, I can just follow
that, like-
Lockheed back to their
yeah, that's
place
true. Yeah,
when
that's
they
fair.
leave
You
here.
just
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
out and then like follow Lockheed home.
Yeah, like it'll just be that version of this interaction, much
Yeah,
less
absolutely.
friendly, much more threatening.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, do you wait until they leave and then confront them outside, or do you just wait and follow them to their?
Wait and follow is the
Okay,
order of the day.
sick. What's it looking like? Well, what Lockheed?
Yeah, Lockheed departs like I think despite all the tension, the inherent tension there, like it's still a welcoming place, right? Like Lockheed still like isn't like kicked out. Okay, you've done your job, like get kicked out. Lockheed like hangs for a while and like renormalizes the relationship away from the transactional nature of it and more to like, you know, customer sort of thing. And then as like things are feeling calm and settled, and Lockheed's been fed now that we've got food, thank goodness. In fact, probably like I love the idea of taking something with them, a roadie snack, and so we say like, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say like I feel like if you've been around a while, right? Because you're the favorite, right? Because you also do the eye maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like even if there's this like moment of tension, where it's like obviously like the implant, like we've got to figure this thing out. Yeah, I think it would also like recognize that there was some tension and like have if there was like a favorite bar snack that, you know, as you're working on it, I would like come back and it would just be like on the bar and be like, yeah, to try and, like you said, normalize some of that space.
Yeah, nice. I am interested and do not have an answer, and we may not have one now, but I'm interested in what kind of like food physically is here, given that like growing plants is difficult, but I imagine like animals are also difficult. Like the whole food chain's disrupted, right? So like what,
right?
You know, is this a mushrooms only situation, or
someone has a greenhouse that has some soil that isn't totally fucked and like a precious few set of seeds that they have to cultivate and
You've been like to different places. This is the only place you've seen in your life with like a whole functioning water tower.
Yeah, it seems like this is a better spot. So
yeah,
maybe there is some hope for leafy greens.
I think I have to do some research to figure out what feels potentially viable. There's a part of me that thinks of like some sort of synthetic. If I'm getting some like Citizen Sleeper vibes of like, yeah, you know, is it like mushrooms? Is it like kind of synthetic-y noodle dishes? Like what's a thing that feels like it could kind of show up in this ecosystem, and what makes it work or what makes it interesting is less that it is a whole like vibrant food, and more it is the presence of spice, the presence of a certain amount of flavor, where most food is, you know, bland and you know, is more about nutrients perhaps than any actual sort of flavor or engaging the senses otherwise.
Yeah,
I imagine that,
that
per history, obtaining said spices, obtaining said whatever that is different probably comes at a significant back end cost.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Love it. Yeah, and so I think like we see Lockheed leaving. Their fingers are colored by the spices and rubs that come with this food. And there's something like reminiscent of the because it was black and yellow, you were saying was the two-toned for Saf, right? And like, having a little bit of yellowing on the fingers from the food, and also like the black from grease and oil and dirt has like that resonance. And Lockheed leaves like with a sense of like comfort, a little spring in the step, a like resolution that like the day is over. I think as Lockheed leaves, like we can see them looking up to where their August antenna spins, and like the chaos of it is kind of comforting.
Nice.
Yeah, and then like if we're imagining a shot, it's like Lockheed walking off and then Wolf entering the frame and just following, at 20 meters back or whatever, just steadily walking behind them.
Do we want to cut it there? Or do you want to play out the actual interaction?
Are you talking about like cut for the day? I think that's a great place. I think that there's a beautiful
like.
I just want to ask quickly, when we see Wolf there, are you like, what's the position of your weapons?
Yeah, so she's got the really obvious like huge sniper rifle on her back. It's in like a leather or cloth, something to like protect it and keep all the dirt and you don't want to have any exposed machinery in an alkaline desert. It's not a good time. And so that's very like meticulously wrapped up. And then I think for her other weapon, which is a shotgun, I think it's full size. It's probably on like a shoulder sling, and it just hangs inside of her like coat essentially. So there's just like a bulk at her side where it's like there's more than just the person inside the coat. Maybe you can see the barrel just down at the bottom, peeking out under the hem of the coat. And there's just like more of a sense of like the weight that she moves with implies that she is loaded down.
Cool.
And she's probably got like a big pack as well that she's carrying. It jingles a little bit.
Yeah. I'm much more comfortable with that than hearing you follow with like the rifle out and a bunch of knives in your hands or something.
No. Yeah, it's not like
I like that we've got somewhere to step to before they get murdered. Yeah.
Cool. Well then, I think we then like pan out and cut the credits. I'm trying to remember if Apocalypse World doesn't have an end of.
No, it does start a session.
The start of the session. That's how they handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's there is an end of session, but that's not per session.
I mean,
so you do like XP at the end.
That's what
that'll be at the end of the first full session because we have to.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like a thing you do at the start and then at the end that kind of bookends the experience, and that's where you get your XP. Whereas for this, we're just doing a little intro, I guess. Let me skip it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay.
Like it's a normal day for at least Saf and Lockheed.
And Lockheed, yeah.
It's certainly like the status quo is not the status is not quo for
Wolf.
For Wolf. So absolutely.
That might be something we can do is throw our names, our character names on.
Yeah, we'll do that next time. Yep.
Yes.
Because we have the ability to do to do both the name bit and the extra bit.
Yeah, name tags help a lot. When
Exactly.
you're people in the eye and role play with them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Josh is way ahead of the game. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's our session. I am already in love with these characters. Sidney, I appreciate you rolling with the amount of like quick blows I threw at you there.
Yeah. Good game.
But I wanted to make sure that we had something in motion. Sick. All right. Well then, let's go reverse alphabetical for sign-offs.
Is that me? Alphabetical by
That's
first name?
you, buddy.
Reverse alphabetical by first name is the traditional RPG way of doing things with people. That's a joke for 6 people, and I hope they enjoyed it. My name is Sidney Icarus. You can find me on Blue Sky. I think I've mostly made the transition to at Sidney Icarus. You can find me at waxwings.com.au. I do a bunch of design thinking, and if you like this game but think, man, I wish someone wrote 600 words on a single move, you should come and see the stuff that I write. You'll love it.
It's very good. I'm a big fan. Josh.
Yeah, thank you. This was a cool session 0. I will remember we're friends in session 1. If you want to find me, best way to find me is also on Blue Sky. It's at wallstormer .bsky.social. I don't know. I'm gonna anyway. Yeah, you can find it at wallstormer. You can also find IntelliGame content on Twitch at IntelliGame, or I've been trying to do more stuff on YouTube lately too, so you can find some Let's Plays, some what will eventually be some deeper dive discussions connecting games to the real world. So yeah, keep an eye out there, and yeah, thanks.
Very cool. Awesome. Andrew.
And yeah, I have been Andrew Gillis. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Andrew Gillis, and you can also check out my game Girl by Moonlight, a Fortune in the Dark magical girl RPG published by Evil Hat.
Awesome. I was super surprised that your Blue Sky was not broke your tradition of having a completely different name on every single platform.
Well,
so
I have to fail eventually. Well, I haven't done my name, just my name.
That's true. So this is a new name again. So yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I've been Ash. You can find me at ACGIAK, ACGIAK, on a bunch of places. You can find some of my games on itch. Mostly I'm posting on Blue Sky and a little bit on like Mastodon and Fetty. And I'm so happy that you all joined us. This was a wonderful first session, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. But till then, we will catch you later. Bye.